What's up? This is your boy CJ, founder of Grandiose Capital. Thank you guys for tuning into Hard Money Hustle. Today's topic, we're going to talk about how scared money will never help you make any money. Being afraid of money, having anxiety around money, not understanding money will never allow you to get ahead and make more money. Another thing that we're going to talk about in today's video is how knowledge is the student's responsibility, not the teacher's responsibility. Contrary to what you believe, knowledge is the student's responsibility, not the teacher's responsibility. So first and foremost, I'm going to jump right into scared money. At the end of the day, if you're afraid of money, you will never make any real money. Meaning, if you're afraid to ask for money, if you're afraid to bring up money, if you're afraid to invest money, if you're afraid to take some type of risks with money, you will never set yourself apart from everybody else. Playing it safe never works long term. No matter what anybody tells you, right? It will never work long term. Now, there are safer ways to do things, but it's still some risks, right? Like, you still got to invest the money. No matter what you think, contrary to whatever you believe, you're going to have to invest the money into something, right? Now, one of the safest ways that's kind of going around the internet right now is work your job, live below your means, save up a bunch of money, throw it in the S&P 500, and hope the S&P 500 continues to go up because in the past it has, right? That is called playing it safe. But if you notice, the S&P 500, that is still an investment. You are still investing your money, meaning that you're still putting your money at some sort of risk because the S&P 500 is not guaranteed. Just like nothing on this planet is guaranteed. By you knowing that, maybe you can understand there are other things that you can do to diversify your portfolio. One of those things being real estate, right? Real estate is one of those things that if you understand it, you don't have to just wait for the S&P to go up and keep throwing your money into it with things that are outside of your control and hope the top 500 companies continue to grow. With real estate, there's a thing that you can do called forced appreciation. What does forced appreciation mean? That means that you know what the houses in this market consistently sell for, right? But there's one house on this market that is raggedy, right? So this is what they sell for. This house is raggedy. I go to the person who owns this raggedy house. I talk them down on price. They give me a low enough price where I can make some money if I fix it up, bring it up to market standards, and sell it for market value. That is called forced appreciation. You forced appreciation. You bought it here. You put some money into it. You forced it to appreciate to at least the market value. You can sell it, refinance it, whatever you want to do at that point. But now you can make some money. It's called an investment. You risked money, you made money. It is that simple. Another investment strategy that I want to teach some of you guys, because some of you guys, y'all want to sit around and live below your means and just save up a bunch of money and think that you're rich. All right. Here's why sitting around, living below your means, and saving a bunch of money doesn't work long term. Because let's rewind. Let's go to the past, right? Where stuff used to cost 25 cents, right? Where people used to make 20,000 a year and they used to be pretty much rich because they can go into a grocery store and buy groceries for 25 cents. Let's say that person decided to save their money and over the course of years, they were able to save up $100,000. Back in that time, $100,000 would have been a lot of money. That would have been a whole lot of money. But fast forward to today's time, and all they was able to save up was $100,000. $100,000 ain't nothing in today's time. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So that strategy doesn't work. Why does that strategy not work? Because they aren't investing that money, and that money is not occurring any compounded interest, and the bank ain't paying no interest at all. So going into the second point, knowledge is the student's responsibility, not the teacher's responsibility. So what does that mean? That means if there's a classroom full of 100 students and there's one professor, there's not two professors, there's one professor. And in that same exact classroom, some of the students get an A+, they get the highest possible grade that you can get. And other students in that same exact classroom get an F. But the professor taught the same exact way every single day. Meaning that the knowledge isn't the teacher's responsibility. The teacher already has the knowledge. It is the student's responsibility. Meaning, if the student wanted to learn it bad enough, they could, right? Everybody has their own different learning styles. It is your job to figure out what your learning style is. Because it's a lot of people that be out there talking about some, oh, all these mentors are scams and this person can't do this and I didn't learn nothing. If you don't know something, it is your fault. It is nobody else's fault. It is your fault. You are the student, especially in today's age where they have a bunch of free stuff on the internet. They have free YouTube videos. They got books. They got all kind of stuff, right? And another thing too, all these people be like, well, I never learned nothing for free and da-da-da. That's because you as the student need to learn how you learn. Does that make sense? You learn how to talk. You speak in perfect English. You learn that shit. You know what I mean? You learn how to walk. You learn how to drive a car. You ain't dead yet. You get what I'm trying to say? You learn stupid stuff. You know how to shoot a gun. You know what I mean? You know how to do all that stuff, but you don't know how to make no real money? Come on, bruh. You know what I mean? So you obviously don't have a learning disability because you're doing everything else just fine, right? You're learning the stuff that you have to learn. Well, guess what? Making money might be one of those other things. And guess what's even more important? Once you learn how to make the money, how to invest the money. Very important. And it's not that hard. I just explained to you how you can force appreciation. It's very simple. Buy low, sell high. Simple. Buy with the exit in mind. Buy with the exit in mind. That's investing, right? Now, I didn't say nothing about no passive income. And people talking some, and what's up with this passive income thing? I never understood this passive income. Everybody's talking about passive income. It's like a catch little buzz phrase or something that people like to say. Most of the stuff that you invest in is not passive income. It's not passive. The reason why it's not passive is because, first of all, you need the knowledge. And second of all, it's not passive because you have to run it, right? It's probably more passive than what you're doing, right? You might be working at a job where you shoveling all day, right? That's not passive. You're actually showing up every day and shoveling, right? Running, let's say you got 20 doors or whatever the case is. And let's say you got a project management team that's running that. That property management team that's running all 20 of those doors, collecting the rents and stuff like that. You still gotta run that property management team. Does that make sense? And the less that you're involved with something, the more things can happen when it comes to lack of funds or funds being misplaced and stuff like that right there. So what I mean by that is just because it's more passive than what you're doing, it's not 100% passive. There are very few things that are 100% passive, right? Very few things on the planet that are 100% passive. Because even if it was 100% passive, it's still going to require you to have some knowledge, and it's going to require you to have some focus on it. Even if your money is in the stock market and you're getting dividends, it's going to require you to have some focus and some knowledge to even know that a company is even paying dividends in the first place. But for all you guys that don't know what that's talking about, like I said, bro, education is the student's responsibility. It is not the teacher's responsibility. Stop blaming the government. Stop blaming the mentor that you paid. Stop blaming everybody but yourself, right? The information is out there. Go and get it. For example, I was at a part, there was a point in time where I wasn't good at sales, right? There was a point in time where I wasn't good at marketing. There was a point in time where I wasn't good at systems and processes. There was a point in time where I wasn't even good at walking and talking. There was a point in time for all of that. But guess what? I figured it all out. Why? Because like I said, it's the student's responsibility. I sought out the information that works for me and how I learn and how I like to learn. Now, from what I heard, it's only like 4 different ways that a person can learn, right? Different people like to learn different ways, but one way is doing it. Some people learn by actually doing something. If they do it enough times, repetition, That's one of the ways that I learn. Repetition is the key to all learning. That's called doing, right? That's one of the ways that I learn. Some people learn that way. They just got to do it. They got to do it. They got to create some kind of simulation and keep doing it until they figure it out, right? They can, if it comes to investing in real estate, act like you bought a house. Oh, I just got this house under contract for this much. Okay. Oh, my, the rehab cost this much. Oh, I paid this guy. Oh, this, whatever. Simulate it. Just do it every day. You don't even got to be really doing it. You just doing it, right? That's one way that you can learn, right? Some people have to learn by seeing, right? They got to see it happen. They got to actually see somebody make 150 million. They got to watch they like a fly on the wall. They got to watch. Okay, so he went up. Okay, he took 3 steps. All right, he took a left. Okay, after he took that left, he took a right. Okay. 3 steps, left, right. Okay. Whatever the case is, some people got to learn by actually seeing it happen, right? That's another style of learning. Some people are doers, some people are seers. If I see it happen, I can learn. A lot of people think that they can learn by seeing, but that's not true. Because I used to work in the car business. You can sit here and watch a guy sell 50, 60 cars a month. You can watch it and see it, and you still have the majority of people in that same car dealership not knowing how to sell 60 something cars a month. Because most people are doers. If they do it enough times, they can figure it out. So if you know that that's your personality and you know that's your learning style, start simulating what that feels like. You get what I'm trying to say? Audio, right? Some people learn by listening, right? They don't got to see it. They don't got to do it. They listen to it. They hear it enough and they hear it enough times, they can learn that way, right? So that's the third way. So what we got doing, we got seeing, we got audio. And then the last way is some people learn by, what was the last way? I forgot the damn last way, my goddamn self. I think those might be doing. All right, so doing, seeing, hearing, and there's another way. Whatever, I'm gonna make up the last way. Some people learn by failing. Some people learn by failing. Some people, it don't sink into their brain until they actually fail at something. Because once they fail and it hurts them enough, once they have enough emotional pain attached to what it feels like not to win, then they all of a sudden learn how to win. It's some people, they don't learn until they lose, right? They think it's some people, like for example, let's say a dude was to become a fighter, right? And he was a natural fighter. He just naturally was beating up all the kids in his neighborhood. For whatever reason, maybe he was bigger than them, he's stronger than them, but every kid in his neighborhood tried to fight him, he knocked him out, right? So he just winning, right? So he ain't learning, he still don't know how to fight. He just know he winning, right? Until he meets somebody who whoops his ass. And after he get his ass whooped, now he sit back and reflect. I really need to learn how to fight so I don't feel this feeling again, right? So some people learn by failing, losing, right? So many times that you can actually lose before you learn, right? Some people have taken some of the biggest losses before they have grown the biggest. For example, I read a lot of stories about a lot of billionaires and a lot of millionaires. And one thing they have in common is something dramatic has happened in their life where they lost. They lost major, but now they're billionaires, right? For example, Tyler Perry was homeless. There's a billionaire, the guy who sold Patron, used to be homeless. There are people who used to go to jail for 2 years, come out millionaires. They lost, right? They lost their life. They lost some way, right? They took some big L, right? And because of that L, they learned what not to do. And some of learning is knowing what not to do. I probably shouldn't overpay for this. I probably shouldn't do this. I probably should structure it this way. I probably should do this way, right? Me, that's another way I learned. Now, most people, out of all the ways that I just explained, they learn from a mixture of all of those things, right? Visual, repetition, basically visual, doing, audio, and failing, right? They learn from a multitude of those things, a little bit of everything, and that's how they learn. That's how I learn. You know, some things I listen to, some things I see, some things I do, some things I fail from. Sometimes I watch others fail, whatever the case is, right? That's how I learn, right? And that's one of the reasons why the company was successful. Because every time, and one thing I hate, me personally, is I hate losing. So every time I get a no from a client or get a loss or get something that ain't go my way, I figure out how to not allow that to happen again. It's like, I don't like the way that went down. How can I get better? I look in the mirror, I say, how do I get better? Instead of what other people do, they look around and say, who caused me to lose? It was the crowd. You know what I mean? Some of y'all get in the ring, get y'all behinds whooped, and y'all never get better because y'all want to look for somebody else who caused you to lose. I lost because the crowd was too loud, or I lost because my shoes wasn't tied perfectly right. No. I lost because my coach wasn't good. My coach wasn't good. My coach, he didn't know how to coach me real good. I lost because of this, all these reasons, right? But at the end of the day, it is the student's responsibility. Meaning, if you wanted it bad enough, you'll get it. Perfect example. 2 students, right? They both start on the same exact playing field, right? They both start with the same exact skill level, everything, right? They even join a company and they sell the same amount of products when they first start, right? But one of the students, every time he goes back home, he buys courses because he really wants to figure this out. He buys courses, he learns from other salespeople, he learns techniques, and he keeps implementing the stuff that doesn't work, throws away the stuff that does work. He keeps it. And in the short term, it looks like these people are the same. But nobody knows that student A, let's say student A, student B. Nobody knows that student A is feeding his brain. Student B is just comparing itself to student A, and as long as those numbers look good, student B is just watching student A and just be like, well, I'm keeping up with this person, so I'm good, right? Now, short term, they both moving along closely, pretty much side by side. Student A starts creeping out a little bit. Student B tries to keep up. Student A starts creeping out a little bit. Student B tries to keep up. Creeping out, keep up. Creeping out, keep up. Student A is gradually getting better, and the results are gradually getting better. B is trying to keep up, but if you fast forward over a period of, let's say, 5 years, student A is all the way up here financially. Student B is less than half of that. Student A, if he keeps feeding his brain, student A is at $500,000 a year. Student B is maxed out at 100. You know what I mean? Or maxed out at 125, right? He only can watch student A for so long, and he only try to keep up for so long before eventually student B just gave up. You know what I mean? Or better yet, you know what student B gonna do? Talk shit about student A. That's what student B gonna do. Talk shit about student A. Student A getting lucky and and blah 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 and find excuses, coping mechanisms. Basically, when you talking about others, you just coping. You just coping from your incompetence. That's all. You know what I mean? Now, student A could eventually catch student B, but because student A is so far behind student B, it's going to take time. So then when student A starts to try to catch student B, it's too late. The only time you're going to catch student B is if student B hits a level that he likes and stops learning. That's called a plateau. If he plateaus at 500, well, if you give student B the same amount of time over the course of years, he can surpass him. Always going back to my same point. Knowledge is a student's responsibility, not the teacher's. It is not the teacher's responsibility. There's too much knowledge out here. There's too many people giving the knowledge. There's too many things that you can learn the knowledge. At the end of the day, you got to figure out, you got to learn how you learn, and then you got to learn how to implement that. That is it. And that goes back to real estate. When it comes to investing in real estate, it is not hard. You just have to learn how you learn and then implement. That is it. That is all. You know what I mean? All of the information that you need is out there. Whether you need to get it through a person, whether you need to get it through a video, a book, an audio book, whatever. At the end of the day, it's probably going to be through another person at the end of the day, because most of the stuff that you guys think that you're trying to strive for, it's not like somebody hasn't done it yet. Now, if you're striving for if you're striving for something that somebody has never done, that's a different story, right? Like Elon trying to get to Mars. Nobody has done that yet. So, who he gonna learn it from? Like, you get what I'm trying to say? But most of the stuff that y'all striving for, especially some of you brokies, most of y'all just striving just to be able to double your income. Has somebody done that? Yes. Okay. That means that information is out there. If somebody has done whatever your income is, let's say you make 50,000, let's say you make 100,000, and all your goal is to double your income, you need to ask yourself, has somebody done this before? Yes. Okay. So that means that information can be learned. It is my responsibility. It is my responsibility to learn it, and I must be patient. I must keep trying to learn it until I figure it out, and I can't quit. That's it. Because once you try to learn it. Some of you guys only give something 2 days, and then you be like, oh, I'm never gonna figure this out. Throw your hands up, and then go back to smoking weed and playing video games or whatever you do. Right? How you gonna learn something in 2 days? Did you learn how to walk in 2 days? You a 2-day-year-old, you start walking. You know what I mean? As soon as you came out your mama thing, you 2 days old, you start talking. You know what I mean? You start doing push-ups at 2 days, not 2 years, 2 days. Come on, bro. Take time to learn, bro. You got to figure out how you learn. And I know everybody that be watching this think that they some kind of genius. They think that they can learn something in 0.3 seconds. 9 times out of 10, that's not how it works, right? You got to figure out what don't work. You got to figure out what do work. You got to hate the feeling of losing. And I really try to break this down. Some of y'all love losing, bro. Some of y'all love it. Y'all like it. Y'all can't get enough of it. Y'all just love losing and then blaming other people why you keep losing. You know what I mean? Just love it. Just lose. Who can I blame? 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 It's everybody's fault but mine. I keep losing, but it ain't my fault. Trust me. It's the government fault. It's this person's fault. It's this person's fault. Bro, and speaking of government's fault, it's a lot of stuff that's happening with our government right now as I'm making this video, right? It's a lot of stuff that's happening with this government. Government continues to raise interest rates, continues to do just wild stuff. And because I don't look for nobody else's fault but my own, my company has continued to grow each and every year. Why is that? It's because I don't care what the government does, right? I know that we can continue to grow because it doesn't matter. Even with the interest rates raising, even with this happening, even with this going on, even with whatever happens, we're going to continue to grow. Why? Because I understand that knowledge is my responsibility, meaning that I also understand if we're not growing, it is my fault. And because I know that, and because I can look in the mirror and I can look myself in the eye and say, I messed up. You know what I mean? I am the reason that we're not growing. I'm missing something somewhere. And because I know that, and I'm not afraid to seek information and seek out help, I don't care if I'm up. I mean, it's been days where I've been on YouTube from 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. trying to figure something out. And I haven't figured it out that day, and I do the same thing the next day. And I do the same thing the next day, and I do the same thing the next day. And then it'll start making sense. And then I'm like, then I get my aha moment. And then I implement something. And then as soon as I implement something slightly different, wow, growth happens. And that's the same thing that's happening in your life right now. It's the same reason why you're not making the money that you want to make. It's the same reason why you're not able to invest. It's the same reason why you keep taking L's every single day. Because you like the L's, bro. You're starting to get comfortable with the L's. You know what I mean? You're starting to learn how to change your life around the L's. You know what I mean? You're starting to learn how to adapt to a 50K salary. You're starting to learn how to cope with the 50K salary. You're starting to learn how to live on a 50K salary. You're starting to adapt to your scenario instead of sitting down and figuring out what do I need to learn in order to get myself out of this situation. You can look around and be like, are there other people that are not in my situation that are doing better than me? Yes, there are. What do they know that I don't know? And you'll be surprised. A lot of those people that are better than you, once you hit a certain stage where you got everything that you want in life, the only thing you want to do is give back. Once you have accomplished very difficult tasks, which I have done with my company, the only thing I want to do is give that knowledge to somebody else. That's all I want to do. Like, dang, that was so hard for me to figure that out. It took hours and days and just months trying to figure this out. Boom, now that I figured it out, now I want to teach somebody else. That's how most people feel. Most people feel that way. Most people that accomplish something that is very difficult, they want to actually teach it to somebody else. But then you know what they get? When they try to teach it to somebody else, the person like don't even want to hear it. Don't even want the information. They act like they want the information. They come to you and be like, oh man, I'm struggling with my company. How can I get better, CJ? I don't know what to do. They be like, all right, bro, this is what I'm, or how do you get your leads? How do you do this? How do you market? How do you do this? How do you do this? Oh, well, I don't really do this and I don't really do this. It's like, okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get you a strategy, right? For your leads, do this, work on this, do this, da. And they be like, oh, and they be all excited. They be like, yeah, man, that sounds great. That sounds great. You call them 2 days later. Hey, man, did you implement anything? Nah, I've been busy, bro. Nah, bro, you know, my sister came in town and then this happened and then this and then my mom. They got so much excuses. Bro, if your daughter was kidnapped and you was and they said they was gonna kill her unless you got them they ransom money, you wouldn't be having no time for that bullshit. You get what I'm trying to say? You be hustling to get your daughter back if you had a kid. Or if your mom, they say, hey, we're gonna put a bullet in your mama's head unless you bring us this ransom money or whatever the case is, and you didn't have it, you'll be hustling to get your bread. You know what I mean? But now, you know what I mean? Somebody done gave you the blueprint, somebody done put it on your lap, somebody done told you exactly what you need to do. Now, because it's a little bit more work than what you thought it might have been, you want to sit back and say, I'm going to push that to the side because I thought I wanted success, but I don't want it that bad enough. I thought I wanted to get out of this situation, but I'm cool in this situation. You know what I mean? The water look cold, but I'm getting used to it. You know what I mean? I thought I wanted to not be broke, but I'm cool with being broke. You know what I mean? You get some people that be like, well, I'm scared to make any more money because then I'm going to lose government assistance. Nigga, what? You want government assistance? You want to be taken care of by the government? What? So I say that to say this, man. 9 times out of 10, bro, if you going through something and you don't know something, 9 times out of 10, it's your fault. The only way I'm giving you a pass is if you have a learning disability. If you have a significant, severe learning disability. But if you can learn how to talk, walk, whatever, bro, you can, whatever you want, you can make happen. Take time, but you can make happen. Take discipline, but you can make it happen. You know what I mean? And what I'm noticing, it's a lot of entitled people out here, bro. It's a lot of entitled people. It's a lot of people that want something for nothing. They want more pay. They want to work at a job and be like, oh, I want to get paid more. But they don't want to add any more value. No, I don't want to add no more value. I just want to get paid more. Bitch, where? Where they do that at? I'm trying to figure out where they do that at. Where does that happen? You know what I mean? Put yourself in a business owner's shoes, right? You hired somebody, you're paying them what they worth. They do less than even what they worth. And then they come to you and ask you for a raise. And you just like, why do you believe you deserve a raise? Right? You know what I mean? And they can't tell you why they believe they deserve it. They just feel like they deserve it. But you the owner, and it costs money to pay that raise, but they're not bringing in no money. That makes no sense. They're not bringing in any extra value. They ain't bringing in any extra money. Why would I pay you if you ain't bringing in nothing extra? That don't make no sense. Why would I pay you extra if you ain't bringing in nothing extra? I can barely pay you what I'm paying you now. You get what I'm trying to say? Where, in what world does that make any sense? It doesn't. You know what I mean? And sometimes when you guys start having this entitled mindset where you guys, I want something for nothing, I want to do the bare minimum, but I want the maximum reward, and you have this mindset, put yourself in the other person's shoes that is going to be giving you the money. Like me, for example, I always put myself in the customer's shoes. Why? Because the customer is the one that's giving me money, right? So I like to put myself in a customer's shoes and be like, if I was to give this dude my money, what would I expect from this person for me to be happy to give this person my money? Well, I expect this person to be professional. I expect this person to be prompt. I expect this person to, answer my calls, communicate effectively. I expect a lot from this person, depending on how much I'm paying this person, right? So 9 times out of 10, for most of the businesses out there, the person that's funding the business is a client or a customer of some sort, right? Put yourself in that customer's shoes. What would you want in order to pay top dollar, right? What would you want to receive in order to part with your money, right? Understand that and then become that for that client if you want more money. Does that make sense? But if you're comfortable with your 20, 30K, don't complain. That's all I'm saying. If you're comfortable with your lifestyle, just don't complain. Because if you're comfortable with it, you wouldn't be complaining. Some people out there can be comfortable with 30, 40, 50K a year. Nothing wrong with that. But I do have something wrong with it if you're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year and you're complaining, but then you're not doing anything about it. That's where I see something wrong, right? It's the same thing with the same people that complain about investing in this and that and blah, 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 and I don't know where to start in real estate. And CJ, I want to invest in real estate. I just don't know where to start. And I know this person's making money in it, but I think this is a scam. And what if I lose money and blah, 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 blah. Going back to the second point, knowledge is the student's responsibility, not the teacher's. And going back to my last video, sometimes losing money might not be the worst thing in the world for you. Because sometimes people have to take an L in order to learn what not to do. Some people are just hard-headed like myself. You know what I mean? Your mama told you 37 times not to touch that because it's hot. What you do? You touch it. And then you realize it's hot. And then you don't touch it no more. Ooh, damn, I know she said it was hot, but I ain't know it was this hot. But guess what? You ain't gonna touch it no more. So some of you guys talking about, CJ, I want to invest in real estate, but what if I lose money? Guess what? You ain't gonna make the same mistake next time. Maybe you need to lose money on the first deal. And then from there, you turn into a savage, right? It's a lot of billionaires in this planet who have been dead broke, homeless. They did all the wrong things. They ended up homeless. And then all they did was not do the wrong things no more. Now they're billionaires. They just kept doing the right thing. Boom, 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 boom. Now they're billionaires. Wow. You know what I mean? Some of you guys is learning styles. That's my learning style. Sometimes I got to take an L for me to learn. You know what I mean? Sometimes I got to take an L for me to learn. I get it. You know, when I was in sales, I hated getting the rejections. So I was like, man, I need to step up my skill. And I got better. And I started getting less no's. You get what I'm trying to say? I had to take the L. You know what I mean? I was the kid who had to touch it. My mama told me not to touch it. Well, I'm going to touch it anyway. Ooh, dang, she wasn't lying. But I had to feel it for myself. You know what I mean? Everybody got different learning styles, man. Everybody got different learning styles, man. You got to figure out what your learning style is. You got to execute. You got to capitalize. You got to make money. You got to stop making excuses. You got to stop blaming the teacher because it ain't the teacher's fault. It's your fault. It's the student's fault. You know what I mean? If you know that you need more hands-on learning, you need to seek more hands-on learning. If you know that you more visual learning, you need to seek more visual learning. If you know that you a trial and error type learning, I got to take an L for me to learn. Well, take a small L. You know what I mean? Jump in there. Take that L. Get it over with. It's better to get it over with sooner rather than later. Jump in real estate. Lose a little bit of money. You know what I mean? You lose money on other stuff. I guarantee you there's something that you spent money on that you lost money on. That ain't never coming back. I guarantee you something you bought, it probably broke the day you bought it. Oh, golly, you ain't never getting that money back. What you do? Lost you? Oh, my life is over. No, bro. Money is meant to be used. It's a tool, bro. It's a tool. It's meant to be used, bro. That's why it exists. You know what I mean? I don't know nobody on the planet who get a check and save the whole 100% of the check. If you know somebody that can do that, let me know. I don't know nobody who save 100% of every check and never ever spent the dollar of it, of none of their checks. Why is that? Because it's meant to be used, right? Let's say you make $50,000 a year. You mean to tell me you made $50,000 and you kept $50,000? Show me. Because there's a thing called the government, especially in the USA, they like to tax. So even if you were trying to keep the whole $50,000 that you made, they still gonna take their cut without you even wanting it to happen. And then if you want to keep it anyways, they're gonna knock on your door and they're gonna take you to jail or fine you. So now you know, now you owe the taxes plus the fine. So trust me, man, it's a tool. It's meant to be used. It's all about how you use it, right? You know what I mean? Two people can have the same exact tool and use it differently, right? Two people can have the same Glock 9, Glock 19. One person can put it through the same hole, other person shooting all over the place. It's the same tool, just this person use it better. That's what money is, bro. It's a tool. Learn how to use it, right? And a part of learning how to use money is after you take care of your needs, what are your needs? Food, water, shelter. You need to learn how to invest it. Because whether you believe it or not, keeping it in the bank, it is being invested. You're just not benefiting from it. Let me rewind that. Your money is already being invested. The money that is in the bank, that you think is in the bank, it is already being invested. You're just not benefiting from it. The bank is investing your money that you have in the bank, and they're benefiting. And they're paying you 0.0%, whatever. It is what it is. That's the biggest scam in the game. You want to talk about a scam? The bank. Give me your money. Give it to me so I can use it. So I can invest it. Imagine that, bro. Imagine you own a company where you get the common day person to give you their money so you can invest it and you keep all the returns. And you give them pennies, less than pennies. But guess what? That won't happen to you if you learn how to invest your money. But what does it take? Knowledge. Is the knowledge out there? Yes. Is it free? Yes. Is some of it paid? Yes. Will paying for it save you some time? Yes. Will paying for it save you some headache? Yes. If you pay the right person, right? Well, how do I know I'm paying the right person? There's things called reviews, right? There's things called word of mouth. There's things called, let me see this person who's actually making money in the field that I want to be in and pay them. Imagine if you went to a real estate investor. Imagine instead of you going to a real estate guru, imagine if you went directly to a real estate investor that you knew was making money in that area because his house, he's selling all these houses. He got a multi-million, he rich, right? And you went directly to him and be like, hey man, you know, I really want to learn real estate investing. Is there any way you can mentor me? I'm willing to pay you. How much would you charge me to mentor me? Imagine it ain't even no guru. It's just a raw ass real estate investor or a real estate agent if you want to learn how to be an agent, or a top car salesman. Be like, hey bro, how much would you charge me to pay? And you know, a lot of top performers, they like to train others, bro. They just like that. So they might even say, bro, I ain't gonna charge you nothing. But if you can just run with me and help me find deals, I'm gonna mentor you. If you can help me find more deals, I'll mentor you as my payment to you. That's a good deal, bro. You feel me? Negotiate some stuff. Knowledge is a student's responsibility, bro. It's not the teacher's, bro. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to figure it out. And the only reason you haven't figured it out because you don't want it bad enough. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.